Well, uh, we continue talking about the process of living churchianity to find real Christianity. And it's not in any religion, in any denomination. We are non-denominational Christians. And our journey has taken us really away of buildings and structures. And we will go in detail later about scripture and experiences that go into more detail about what happened to us. But this journey from churchianity to Christianity took us really away from the traditions of men to find Jesus directly, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, celebrating today his resurrection because he is alive and because we want to share our testimony and the process of finding him. So we are told that in the Old Testament, priests used to marry, and they had to marry virgins. They were not allowed to have or to marry widows or whores or prostitutes or yeah, meaning anyone abandoned by their husbands at the time. But they were allowed to have one wife, was the recommendation at the times of Moses. So you can read this in Leviticus. And even in Timothy, Timothy 1, chapter 3, 16, no? When we are told that those who are deceived, no, by spirits and have doctrines of demons, actually, have no conscience and they will forbid marriage. So celibacy is not really a natural practice. It's not even advised in the Bible. And we can see that really in our days, all the problems of the depravities, or the homosexualism, abuse of children, pedophilia, and all that this has caused. Yeah. So we are told in Matthew 23, don't call anyone your father. Yeah. In Matthew 23, we see the best speech that Jesus gave against the Pharisees and Sadducees who eventually killed him. Yeah. He said, do as they say, not as they do, because they are hypocrites. They say things that you really believe, like today in all churches, they can tell you, they can trap you because they say things that make sense, but actually what they do is very, very different. Even in charities, they say they are collecting, helping the poor, but they are not. In most cases, they are not doing that. So we have to really be very shrewd and develop that capacity of discernment to realize the wolves in sheep clothing are really global, and we need to be very, very, very careful. So anyway, just to move a little bit faster on this part, because before that we lose the battery or the minutes we have. I want to share with you some dreams, special dreams that before in my youth I used to attribute to terror movies, films, television, and actually was about these times that we live, and I would dismiss them a lot because I couldn't understand, no one around me would understand. We were living in a very Catholic country, Christian country, but I didn't have really anyone to share these experiences and to really even hear about these experiences or connect the dots and pay attention and honor the dreams that God really was sharing. But one of those images that really stayed with me always was waking up with the image of my hand with a hole between my index and my thumb, and later on finding many testimonies and Bible prophecy, I started to connect. It was really related to the microchip and the mark of the beast that today many people talk about. And more recently, just a few years ago, I also had a dream when soldiers were coming into the bus and they were detecting who had a microchip. And funnily enough, I had. apparently one, and I just knew I had to get rid of that. So I couldn't understand really the dream, or if I perhaps seen or still dots and and seeing that I need to get rid of, or the tendencies that we have to sometimes go along with the world, and we are accepting also subconsciously the chip, the mark of the beast, because we go along and we cannot refuse, we cannot stand out, and that's what we need to do. Okay, so one of those dreams anyway um, was connected to also seeing the world in flames, seeing the world in flames. I don't know what happened.